it is the art of inscribing designs into an egg using a wax resist technique. We are going to be creating ours, of course, with whatever mediums you have available to you at home. I'm going to model the steps of drawing using pencil first and then with crayon. This example here shows a crayon resist technique and watercolors. You are more than welcome to use those materials at home as well if you have them. Otherwise, remember you can use whatever materials you have to create your own Pysanka. Getting started. First things first, I need to draw an egg shape. An egg shape is most similar to an oval. So to draw my shape, I'm going to start at the top, and I like to use a technique called ghosting, which is where I press very lightly with my pencil until I have a shape that's more close to what I want. Remember the phrase, draw light until you get it right, then go darker or trace with marker. In this case, I'm going to make my line darker first with pencil, and then later I will be coming in with some crayons to add the design. The traditional designs are symbolic of various things. For your designs, you may use whatever kinds of patterns you would like to fill your design, to fill your egg form. I ask that in the style of their traditional eggs, that you repeat that pattern and have some element of symmetry like we talked about last week. So in designing my egg, I am going to start with a band down here at the bottom. And I think I'm going to make that into a wide band. Then I'm going to do a narrow one. I'm just kind of copying or echoing the curve form of my egg. These lines aren't quite perfect, and that's okay. I can come in and erase if I would like. Now I'm going to do another wide band up here. Again, I'm echoing that curve of the egg to help it still seem like it's got form, even though I'm drawing on a flat sheet of paper. And I think I'm going to repeat that motif of a thinner band marked off here. Then I think I'm going to do one more wider band marked off again with some thinner bands. Now I'm going to include some other patterning inside each of these layers that I have created. I might want to repeat different shapes. I might want to actually create kind of a scene in there. It is up to you what you put into yours. I am going to repeat some hearts, kind of like I did in my example. I'm going to stack them up onto each other to kind of frame the scene that I'm creating. I'm going to do that in my top big layer and in my bottom big layer. But remember, you can use whatever shapes or designs you would like as you pattern your egg. I ask though that you keep them symmetrical. This time we're going to use a type of symmetry called bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry means that if I were to draw a line down the middle, it would look the same or roughly the same on each side. So right now, my egg has rough bilateral symmetry. It's rough in that it's not exactly perfect, because we as humans are not perfect, but it's pretty close to being symmetrical bilaterally. Now I think I'm going to add in some other designs here. Maybe I include a big heart in between my stacks of hearts. Remember, again, you can use whatever shapes you would like. And then in this middle layer, or in these small layers here, I think I am going to create polka dots, kind of like I did in that first example that you saw. But again, remember, you can repeat whatever shapes and designs you would like. Remember, as always, that our rule is that it stays appropriate for school, but beyond that, you can explore and express yourself creatively. Alrighty, I've got one more band to fill, and for this one, I think I'm going to make it kind of like a garden scene. So I'm going to get some different plant life. And great spring flowers that are starting to pop up from the ground right now are daffodils and tulips. So I'm going to draw some daffodils and tulips, kind of like I did in that other example. Now I think I'm going to transition into working with my crayons. Remember that you should always take your time and do your best. Remember that you have an entire week to complete these activities. I'm going to come in with some green and maybe do the leaf forms of my flowers here. If you'd like to do some more research into this art form, I highly recommend it. There's some great YouTube videos showing people working in the traditional processes that were used to create these and are still being used today to create these really intricate works of art. Making the head of the flowers, I'm going to use two different strategies. For doing tulips, a fun strategy to use is to first start by drawing the letter U, then to crisscross with two curved, kind of angular lines and color it in. So again, the letter U, and I crisscross with those two curved lines and fill it in. Letter U, crisscross with those two curved lines and fill it in. And that's a real great way to draw kind of a simple tulip shape. I can go over the hearts that I've drawn here. Your goal should be to fill your whole image with color and pattern and try to keep things symmetrical bilaterally, which means from side to side across a middle line. For daffodils, I like to draw a circle and then add a triangle that overlaps. So a circle, and then a triangle that overlaps, and a circle, and a triangle that overlaps. I might choose to color in some of these bands that I've done here, and you'll notice that I'm repeating colors that I've already used. That's a great way to keep a work of art really strong and unified, is to repeat a set of colors and create what's called a color scheme. So here so far I've repeated yellow, and I've repeated pink, and I've repeated two different values of green. I've got more of your standard secondary green, and then I've got a tertiary yellow green as well. And you'd keep working until you'd filled your whole picture with beautiful color and created your own representation of a Pysanka. So let's flip back and see that completed example. So you can see that this is kind of what we're going for. If you want to add in a stand for your egg and give yourself a cast shadow, you can do that too. My expectation is that your Pysanka is shaped like an egg, is bilaterally symmetrical, which means that on either side of that middle line it looks the same and has beautiful bands that are colorful and have pattern. I look forward to seeing what you create.